Title: Uganda. The Pearl of Africa's Journey Through Time. Uganda, often called the Pearl of Africa, has a long and powerful history shaped by ancient kingdoms, colonial influence, struggle for independence, political challenges, and modern development. The story of Uganda is a story of resilience, cultural richness, and continuous transformation. Before colonial rule, Uganda was made up of several strong and organized kingdoms. The most influential was the Kingdom of Buganda, which rose to prominence between the 14th and 19th centuries. The Buganda people developed a structured political system led by the Kabaka, king, supported by chiefs who governed different regions. The kingdom was highly organized with laws, traditions, and a strong cultural identity. Other kingdoms such as Bunyoro Kitara, Toro, and Ankole also played major roles in shaping the region's political and cultural landscape. These kingdoms traded among themselves and with neighboring communities, exchanging goods such as iron tools, animal products, bark cloth, and food supplies. In the 19th century, external contact increased. Arab traders arrived through the East African trade routes, introducing Islam and new commercial networks. Around the same time, European explorers entered the region searching for the source of the Nile River. One of the most famous explorers, John Hanning Speke, reached Lake Victoria and identified it as a major source of the Nile. This discovery drew global attention to the region and opened the door for European involvement. Soon after, Christian missionaries arrived bringing Christianity, Western education, and new religious ideas. However, their presence also created religious divisions between Catholics, Protestants, and Muslims. These divisions later influenced political relationships within the region. Missionaries also introduced formal schooling, which helped create an educated class that would later lead the independence movement. By 1894, Uganda became a British protectorate. The British ruled indirectly through existing kingdoms, especially Buganda, which was given special privileges. Colonial rule changed Uganda's economy significantly. The British introduced cash crops such as cotton, coffee, and tea, which were grown for export. This shifted the economy from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture controlled by colonial markets. While infrastructure such as railways and administrative systems were developed, inequality and regional imbalances also increased. In the early 20th century, Ugandans gradually began to demand political rights and self-rule. Education played a major role in raising awareness. By the 1950s, political parties emerged, and nationalist leaders began negotiating for independence. These movements united different regions despite cultural and political differences. Uganda finally gained independence on October 9, 1962. Milton Obote became the first prime minister and later president. However, the early post-independence period was marked by political tension between the central government and traditional kingdoms, especially Buganda. In 1966, Obote suspended the constitution and centralized power, leading to the abolition of kingdoms and increased political unrest. In 1971, the country experienced a major turning point when General Idi Amin seized power through a military coup. His regime was marked by fear, violence, and economic decline. Thousands of Ugandans were killed and many others were forced into exile. The economy collapsed due to mismanagement and the expulsion of skilled workers, especially Asians who had played a key role in commerce. In 1979, Amin was overthrown by Tanzanian forces and Ugandan exiles, but instability continued for several years. During the early 1980s, Uganda went through further conflict and leadership struggles. Eventually, in 1986, Yoweri Museveni and his National Resistance Army took control after a prolonged guerrilla war. Museveni promised peace, stability, and economic recovery. His government introduced reforms that helped rebuild institutions, improve security, and encourage economic growth. Since then, Uganda has experienced relative stability compared to previous decades. The country has invested in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and agriculture. Tourism has also grown, especially due to Uganda's rich wildlife, national parks, and attractive